Ready?
Yep.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's good, Council of Comics? We're doing Lord of the Rings. The Rings of Power, episode 5 and
6.
Yes. Let's go.
Oh, just 5? It's only up to 5.
No, it's only up to 6, dude.
It's up to 6.
Oh, alright.
You're behind, green
I
shirt
watched
guy.
them all.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you watch this amazing riddled with battle episode?
Yeah.
Okay.
It ends with.
Not yet. Not yet. No spoiler. Yeah. Shout out to Madness. Yeah. Rogue Nation 845. Bro. No spoiler yet. We spoil at the end of the video. Alright. So we're doing Rings of Power.
Recap episode 5, the lesser episode.
So basically in episode 5, these mysterious people come to check out where the Starman landed.
Yep, the elves.
The elves.
Yes.
And another story is Isildur is trying to get his way into the cavalry or become a part of it, but his father is like, "Nyeh, you can't be a part of it."
And Galadriel puts all the young Numenorians to the test to see if they'll get a promotion.
Yeah, and one of them actually slices the cloth.
Yep.
Not
Right.
just,
He drew flesh. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
Just a little scar.
Yeah, he got to
And
be a
but
lieutenant.
he gets raised a lieutenant, and he's what do you call it? He's his friend. He's Isildur's friend.
Right. He's one of the guys that Isildur got kicked off when he pulled that stunt
Yes.
from before.
And so, which we'll come back to him for episode 6. But also, Isildur gets in as like he's the what do you call it? He's the guy who keeps the horses.
Because at the end of the episode, he saves a guy who's trying to blow up the boat, and this is treated, as we'll see in the next episode, as an act of
Heroism.
In this episode, we also see the Harfoots and their travels through to get to where they're going.
With the Starman.
With the Starman, he saves them from an attack of these
Wolves.
They're wolves
or dire wolves, whatever
dire
the hell.
wolves or
But he
something
uses
like that.
magic, so that's earth magic to protect them.
Gandalf, anyone? But
it could also be the brown wizard.
But look, I've been
Radagast.
reading the lore and looking at the videos. They're like I said before, they're actually shrinking like 1,000 years into a small time frame. So it could be Gandalf. It could be Gandalf.
Possibly.
You know what I mean?
Well, like I said, he used fire.
Yeah.
And Gandalf's ring of power is the fire gem.
Right.
So like that could be symbolic.
Could be. We also see the Numenor set sail for the Southlands.
Yep, with their queen.
Whose
father is like, "Don't go there. Only death awaits you."
Yeah.
And she's just like, "Why do all our conversations have to be like this?"
And Galadriel convinces, what's his name? Halbrand to lead the people and be the king that they want him to be. That's pretty much episode 5. Episode 6.
Yeah, I got notes.
This is the big one. He's got notes.
Oh, my God. All right.
See what we got here.
Before the fighting starts, Adar pauses to plant a seed in the name of new life in defiance of death, which means that he does not give up on old elven traditions, even though he is now, like the oldest Uruk, right?
Yeah.
Because they don't like to be called,
They don't like to be called orcs.
Yo,
and quick point for those of you that don't know: the orcs were former elves back in the days.
but they were twisted by the dark.
Yeah.
So he, in his own mind, this is a demonstration that he has not strayed from the elvish ways. So he's like, he's not like above committing atrocities or war crimes, but in his mind, he's doing it for his children, which are the orcs that adore him.
Uruk.
Right, the Uruks.
2022, we gotta get it right.
And then so they go to attack the village, right? Which the village fort, right?
Right.
So they go to attack the village fort, and Adar spots the shrine to Sauron right away, which is important, but it's mostly empty. And it's mostly empty because the villagers have fled. It's just Arondir with a bunch of traps, just bringing the whole place down upon them, killing a whole bunch of orcs,
Uruks.
right? And so like it was just amazing. It was like high end Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
The high end of Helm's Deep.
So the townspeople set a trap.
Yes, and then they of course are now in the village and they gotta set more traps.
And so they invade the town. They're some of them get trapped in the house. They're about to take it over.
Wait, you jumped ahead, all right? On the ship.
Go ahead.
On the ship at sea, Isildur finally meets Galadriel, and the two of them were like, "Oh my god, we're buddies now, aren't we?" You know, so like that's it, like instant friends. And then Isildur's father, Eyandil, right? He comes over and he starts talking to Galadriel. She's like, "I'm one of the boys' mother," and then he like goes on this whole thing about how like the dawn is usually beautiful, yet he feels like he's going into night, right? And then he's like, his mother drowned, and like walks away. And I'm like, oh my god, this guy has no chill, no chill. And then so Arondir can't destroy the hilt of Sauron's sword, right? And the villagers are still preparing to protect. So he hides it, and he hides it where no one must know, except Theo. Theo has to be all up in everybody's business.
You know what I mean?
Right, so Theo knows where it is, so of course that's trouble later. And then, of course, when the battle actually arrives, the orcs are like slitting villagers' throats. You see someone's body sliding down off one of the things, so they retreat into the, what is it called? The
keep. They call it the keep.
They call it a keep, so they retreat into the keep.
But at this point, you see the ships land.
Yes,
from Numenor,
and
you see the horses
and the horses
going.
coming. Yeah, and of course,
classic Lord of the Rings.
And Galadriel's all the way at the head, and then as Galadriel gets to the head, Halbrand gets right up with her. So they're like the first two coming. So they're about to kill, what's her name, Browen?
Yeah.
So they're about to kill her to make Arondir talk, but Arondir's tough. He'll let her die, and she'll let herself die. But Theo's weak, and he's like, I know where it is. Let me give it to you. Don't kill her, right? So then they give it to him, and they can hear, and they start killing humans just right away. Yeah. But you can hear that someone's approaching. So as they approach, very quickly, you see him go to the old man. This is Adar.
I have a task for you.
Adar's like, I have a task for you, and sends him on his way. And we don't see the old man until the end of the episode for all the shock and awe.
Yeah.
So then, Theo gives
the horses show up.
The horses show up in the town. Freaking arrows start flying.
Yeah.
But so then Arondir is like, Galadriel. And by the way, Theo like looks at Galadriel like he's seeing a goddess. Yeah. Like he's just like, who is that? Like I thought that was so cool, right? Like that was just like this big moment for him. And he's like, Galadriel. He's like, he escapes. He cannot get away. And Galadriel just takes off after him. And it looks like he uses magic to make his horse faster. And then she leans down and whispers to her horse, and her horse gets faster. But Halbrand doesn't have any magic. Halbrand's just riding his horse. And all of a sudden, they're deep in the woods. Or does he? And then he comes out with his freaking spear, and he freaking knocks that horse over, and it's beautiful. And he's gonna freaking kill Adar. And then she's like, no! Like, we need him. And she's like,
don't give in to the darkness, Halbrand.
Right, but also, you cannot quench your thirst with seawater, which he said to her about her vengeance.
Yeah.
So she gets him to cool down, and she takes Adar to the barn where she questions him and talks, and then he lays it down. He's like, we don't deserve a place to live. We don't deserve like our own culture.
Said was on point.
Right, everything he said was on point. She goes, no, because you were created as a mockery, and I'll see to it to myself that every last one of you is destroyed, and I'll save you for last, so that you can know that you are the end of your filthy, disgusting life. And I was like, and then he goes, oh, you didn't have to look for too far from the darkness than your own mirror. And I was like, oh shit, he called her out, because that was some dark, horrible stuff she was saying.
Yeah. And then she was about to kill him.
And then she's about to slit his neck. And then Halbrand is like,
Galadriel!
And like, Galadriel, remember when you stopped me? When you stopped me from Warriors of the Darkness? So she goes and she washes her blade.
But
there's
Adar tells a story. He says
that he killed Sauron, but I don't believe it.
He split him in half is what he said.
I don't believe it. Although, you know what though? What if he meant it, but he's onto it? What if he split him in half and I'm right and there's two pieces of Sauron out there looking to come
together? Because he does look at Halbrand a little funny. Like, who are you? You know what I mean?
And
like,
Halbrand doesn't answer.
He doesn't answer him.
So I'm still suspicious.
So this leads, because this whole episode is basically about this. From that point on, it's all about this. We got the 2 stories conversion with the ships and the townspeople. So now it finishes off with we find out where the guy goes. Yes. And what happened is they did a switcheroo. Theo opens up the thing, and it's a hammer in there, and it's not the sword that Sauron's. And it switches to the old guy that he gave the task to. He sticks it in his arm. He creates the sword. He sticks it in the ground, and then the water starts flowing. You're like, wait a minute.
Intensely flowing.
And you're like, wait a minute, what are we doing here? And now all the tunnels that they built before, you now see the water flowing. It's going through. You see the mountain. You see the water flow through the mountain. You're like,
the lava underneath.
I see where this is going. And then the water pours into the volcano inside the mountain.
Making the volcano
active.
The
mountain erupts. And we have
Mount
Doom. Spectacular fashion introduction of Mount Doom. Right, green shirt guy? Exactly. A spectacular fashion. Kisses all around.
And Galadriel just stands there as the wave comes to consume her.
Yes. And that...
Yep, she refuses to
That is episode 5 and 6 of the Rings of Power. Phenomenal episodes.
It's amazing. So, circling back, the show seems to be attempting to create a morally sticky version of the Tolkien universe, because like normally it's such a clean-cut battle of good versus evil, and for Adar to be like, don't we deserve a place? Like, what, are we not living creatures? Yeah. Amazing. We just saw the formation of Mount Doom. That is absolutely clear. What exactly is Halbrand the king of? Right? And next episode, it looks like we're going to catch up with the dwarves. But it looks like we're also going to catch up a little bit on Galadriel, so that'll be interesting. But this episode did not feature the Harfoots, did not feature the dwarves. It was very tightly focused on the Numenorian army, which was great, because what's his name? Sildral's boy there actually was an amazing warrior, the one who got promoted, and the other one was like, that was horrifying, and I never want to see battle again. And like, I'd rather just live here and help these people rebuild their homes. Yeah.
So they connected 2 stories.
Very well.
Our prediction is that the next episode will connect the other 2 stories, and in the final episode will bring
it all together.
Kind of bring it all together. We'll see. Quick note on the lore. We were talking about this before. So what's going on for all you lore people? They're like, how can this happen so quick? How can this all happen? They're condensing 1,000 years worth of story for TV purposes, and they're cutting it down very, very small. So don't get mad. This is what they got to do to tell the story, and I think they're doing it phenomenally. All right? So if you are not subscribed, please subscribe below. Remember, we're on Instagram and TikTok. We'll be back next week with we'll be back in 2 weeks, because we do it at 2 episodes at a time. With 7 an episode.
Oh my God, these are like 1 hour. These are 1 hours. Maybe we should just do it once a week.
We'll see.
We'll see. We'll see how we feel.
We'll see how it goes.
Don't forget, there'll be some New York Comic Con action too.
Yeah, we're going to Comic Con.
Well, one of us.
He's
is.
not going to Comic Con.
I just can't. I wanted to, but I can't do it. I can't do it.
So, for Cliff, myself, and the rest of the Council of Comics, thank you for watching. We'll check your eyes next time. Yeah, shout out to Madness. Yeah, Rogue Nation 845.